Welcome Wargamers to today's video brought to you by Worlds of War Studios. This is our 5 in 15 where we cover 5 rounds of competitive based Warhammer in 15 minutes. In these games we use the most current tournament rules for play and terrain. Now let's meet our players.
Guys, Adam here, ready to throw out some sex, drugs, and rock and roll with my Chaos Space Marine Emperor's Children and my Slaanesh Demons. We're going to see if we can knock some heads and kick these Necrons off the table.
Hey guys, it's Chris here with his crotchety old Necrons that we're digging out of the 60 million year slumber that we had to come reconquer the galaxy that we once owned. But first, we have to kick these stupid Slaanesh off of our planet. And what are they, 10,000 years old? That's nothing. I have tombs on this planet older than they are. They just need to get off my lawn. Today's game will come from the Strike Force missions using the Overrun mission. We will be using Dawn of War deployment with Domination as its primary objective, where it's hold 2, hold 3, or hold more with 6 objectives on the table. For their 3 secondary objectives today, both Adam and Chris chose the same secondaries by chance to try to score extra points on, and those secondary objectives were Engage in all fronts, Assassination, and Raise the banners high. In Engage in all fronts, you want to have 4 units in 3 or 4 table quarters to get points. Assassination, you want to kill their characters. And Raise the banners high, you want to plant your flag on objectives so you can score points at the beginning of the next turn. With that, let's start turn 1.
So, my first game back on the table as Slaanesh in a while, and I'm coming up against Chris's Necrons straight off of them getting a big boost with the new core rules. And I gotta tell you...
Yes, I enjoy the new core rules, but we'll see that later.
They needed a boost. They really did, but it really made it an uphill battle for me. A lot of times, I'll deep strike in my Noise Marines. We can see on the table here, I'm playing my Noise Marines straight on the table to get some damage done right off the bat. I'm moving my demons up, my big greater demons up, because I'm trying to make a gambit to accomplish some things later on in the turn. I want to be able to use my psychic powers, which I always fail at poorly.
Yeah, so I was actually a little scared here because he's moving all these demons up, and I know what these demons can do because I've dealt with them before with my Necrons when I didn't have all the new core buffs.
So right there we see I succeeded with Warp Time, I succeeded with Prescience, and then I'm going to continue to fail Psychic Powers for the whole rest of the phase. I tried using Penultimate Curse to take some strength out of those Necrons over there, and of course I failed that. And I've learned I can't Command Point reroll Psychic Powers, because if I do, I will perils later on in the turn. Yeah,
I've watched him do it multiple times, but I will tell you this, right, coming up here, this shooting phase was brutal against my oh-so-dusty Necrons that I hadn't gotten to use in years.
Yeah, so I popped 5 command points on Noise Marines. For 5 command points on Noise Marines, you get to get +1 strength, +1 damage, and shoot again on the Noise Marines. Those guys are putting out, that squad of 20 is putting out over 60 shots per time shooting, and they get to shoot twice, so it's over 120 shots. Really can wipe some stuff off the table.
It was pretty gross. He ripped all of my, as you can see here coming up, all 6 of my destroyers, which I was dumb. I should have put it behind the wall because of course they have fly, so I could have just moved them over the wall, but no, I put them right out in the open.
Yeah, well, I was overzealous with moving my Bellacore so far up on the left-hand side of the board over there. I should have stayed back a bit, but I thought I could get Pal of Despair off and make those guys over there a little bit less threatening.
Well, and I was worried about the Penultimate Curse because I think that's the psychic power that lets you fight last. And so I need my Scorpeg Destroyers to charge, and if they fight last, Bellacore could easily kill the whole unit, or all but like one very easily. Probably all of them, you know, making them basically either completely neutered or gone. So him failing that, you know, Adam here failing that really probably put a damper on him.
Yeah, I should have played more conservatively on this first turn, but when you've got 3 greater demons running up the battlefield, the instinct I should have resisted is to just run straight at my opponent's face and try and do as much damage as possible.
Well, because see, what I was going to do was if I'd gotten first turn, I was just going to pass out some buffs, you know, raise some banners, and then basically pass turn. And that's what I thought he was going to do. But then he charged his demons out there, and with the new core rule, if you can see on the screen there, I know the token's a little small, is I was able to roll, and I got my best roll with Illuminor Xeris. I was able to give my Scorpeg Destroyers, which now have core, +1 strength, which we're going to see I use to great effect later because my Overlord also gave them +1 to hit. So they're now hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s in combat.
Yeah. I will say, I do think I've played these demons as just a demon list, and I really think with demons, you need to have the Chaos Space Marines coming to bear with them. Mm-hmm. Those Noise Marines did well worth their points worth of work through this game. It's just really hard playing demons as an army that doesn't get a shooting phase. And you need some sort of support from the Chaos Space Marines.
Definitely, yeah. So what we're going to see here, because this is on my turn now, after I lost all my destroyers, I wanted some revenge, and those Scorpec destroyers, I gave him a command stratagem now that gives him +1 strength. I gave him the Novok stratagem, which gave him +1 attack. I used my plasma sight to give him another +1 strength and +1 attack, and just ripped Bellicor from full wounds to dead in one go. And that's at minus. Is he -1 damage or not?
No, he's not.
He's not.
You keep
okay.
thinking that he's -1 damage, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's -1 a bunch of things. And you can't
It was -1 to hit, but it didn't matter. I was just ripping them all. Yeah, it was not.
Well,
pretty.
when you can give those guys +1 to hit, so now they're hitting on 2s. Granted, you can't re-roll against Bellicor, but
you're hitting on 2s.
You're hitting on 2s. It's really
so
good.
I did fail a few hits, but failing a few out of 34 attacks.
Yeah.
They're all doing multiple damage, and all you get's a 5-up invul or 4-up invul.
Yeah.
Also here though, it was pretty gross for me. I charged him with 4 of the Ophidian destroyers, which they just don't have the survivability, and the fact that he overwatched killed 1 or 2. Then he fought me, killed me down to 1. I got 1 back with my reanimation protocols, and then I killed like 5 or 6 of his dudes. And because, of course, they get to shoot when they die, he ripped my last one off the table and happened to kill a couple more Necron warriors.
What's really nice with Slaanesh is they always fight first. They're basically always interrupting the fight.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that was pretty much turn 1. So moving on to turn 2 here. At the end of turn 1, engage on all fronts, and assassination were the only secondaries either player could have scored, and the only player to score any points on those would be Chris with assassination by killing Bellicor, one of Adam's greater demons. And with that being said, let's move on to turn 2.
So going into turn 2, Chris didn't feel like he did a lot, but I'm actually in pretty rough shape here. My Noise Marines are way down. I did manage to get to bully Chris a little bit on the objectives. But it is a really, really rough shape for me here in this turn. By the end of the turn, I'm going to bully Chris off of some objectives, and that's something that's really important for me. And I'm going to kill a bunch of his guys with my 2 remaining greater demons.
Yeah, I forgot he had those Terminators that were deep striking at, and I saw him, and he pointed them directly at Illuminor Xeris, and I'm like, you can't kill Illuminor Xeris, it's not fair. Right after I just killed his Bellicor.
Yeah, and I brought them in specifically to take him off of that objective over there, because right now scoring those primaries is still a really, really big thing. And Terminators, 5 Terminators with claws are just absolutely devastating with Slaanesh. Those guys are swinging in. They're getting I cast Prescience on them, so they're getting extra hits on every 4, 5, or 6 to hit. So basically half of their hits, they're getting extra hits on. And it's just a devastating amount of damage.
Yeah, it really was. It was interesting, though, because like on this turn, I realized, like, his first turn, his shooting took a while because he's firing twice, he's moving that big shooting unit and all that, and here he went straight into, like, his shooting phase was like blip, and then it was like moving on to other stuff. But yeah, here I lose my Illuminor Xeris, so I only ever got to hand out 1 buff. Thankfully, it was generally worth it. We are getting ready to see, though, like, yeah, I lost my Illuminor Xeris, but my Technomancer that I had over there I brought back 2 Scorpec destroyers after he killed all but 1, I think.
Yeah.
Or all but 2. I think there's 4 there total, and I had a unit of 6. And then my Technomancer brought back 1 in that unit, and 1, it's solid with the new core rule. Him bringing back a destroyer was pretty gross, because I'm back up to 5 already in that unit. Also on this turn, I think this was a turn that it was pretty.
Something that's really devastating
I didn't really do a lot this turn.
Well, but your heavy destroyers ripped that Keeper Secrets off the
right.
table. That's the biggest thing.
He was also really damaged.
No, you did 12 damage to him. with
that's
those
right.
2 heavy destroyers.
Yeah, that's right, I did. So the heavy destroyers now, they were so underpowered before because, they were 70-something points. They didn't get any kind of bonuses or buffs or anything. I mean, you could use the stratagem that said one of their guns auto-wounded, but everything has an invulnerable save that you want to hit with them. Well, now that they're core, I was able to give them +1 to hit, so now they're hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. So now, and with the Technomancer being able to bring them back, I'm honestly probably going to increase it to 3 of them, because with 3 of them in a unit that you can actually bring back with a Technomancer, you can start ripping stuff off the field, because they're hitting on 2s, they're generally wounding on 3s on anything big, and they're doing 3d3 damage.
If you want to wipe Raiders and Volkite Dreadnoughts off the battlefield, heavy destroyers are going to do it from you, and they're going to do it from a long ways away.
Yeah, because they have a 36-inch range on their guns.
And they fly, so they can sit in train, just pop out, and just rip stuff off the table.
Yeah. But this turn, I killed both of his other greater demons, and this is when it honestly just started going very much downhill for Adam.
Left with almost nothing on the table at the end of turn 2. It's real bad.
Yeah. So, well, on to turn 3, guys. At the end of turn 2, Adam has scored 10 for primaries, 3 for engage in all fronts, 3 for assassination, and 3 for raise the banners, while Chris has scored 5 for primaries, 0 for engage in all fronts, 7 for assassination, and 3 for raise the banners. And with that, let's move on to turn 3.
Turn 3 is a real short one. I don't have much left on the table, and I have to make some important plays this turn. I'm moving up there on the right-hand side of the board. I'm going to try to take Chris off of some objectives on that side. I still have some Terminators coming in. I basically chose to ignore everything on the left half of the board.
Yeah, which honestly wasn't a bad strategy, because with my Scorpion Destroyers all covering that and ripping everything off of there, it's like if you just dropped those Terminators down, they just would have been more dead Terminators.
Yep. I've learned a lot in this game that sometimes it's best to just completely abandon half of the table and focus all of your forces in swinging around on the other side. And if you can do that, you can knock your opponent off some objectives and make up some points.
Yeah, because he does that. I think here he starts really mowing through what I've got over on this half of the table, because that way it also gave him a buffer, so his characters that are on that side of the table were able to stay kind of hidden and out of my shooting and melee range, because Scorpion Destroyers are fairly fast, but they ain't getting all the way across the table in one turn and charging. But in this turn, I was able to basically just move, do a little shooting. I think I killed a couple of Terminators. I used my Veil of Darkness and failed my charge, of course. So my turn 3 was kind of lackluster. I think I killed like a Terminator with, I killed 2 of them, I think, with my, that's it.
Because I had some bad rolls.
Yep, but on to turn 4. At the end of turn 3, Adam has 10 for primaries, 3 for engage on all fronts, 0 for assassination, and 3 for raise the banners. Chris's turn 3 netted him 10 points for primaries, 2 for engage on all fronts, 0 for assassination, and also 3 for raise the banners. And with that, we go on to turn 4.
One thing that did hurt me last turn, I had a Perils of War with my Psyker that I had to re-roll, which sucked. Losing 2 Terminators because I rolled 4 1s on saves was also really devastating as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You did. This turn you had to make some hard decisions, but here's the thing. You killed your Psyker this turn. Remember, you Perils again?
I did a Super Smite Perils, and the Psyker died from it, but he took out 6 Necrons with that Super Smite.
He did, but he also killed 2 Chaos Marines, which got to shoot me.
Yeah.
And he did damage to his Warlord in this turn. So it did some damage, but it nuked a lot of the table.
It did, but Noise Marines are going to shoot you, and then when they die, they're going to shoot you again. And then when they're dead, they're going to find a way to shoot you again.
They really are.
That's Noise Marines.
They are one of those units that gives me heartburn to play against because they're so infuriatingly effective. They're an expensive unit, and heavens knows I've learned he still needs that second wound. GW, if you're watching this, give Chaos their second wound.
Oh, it is such garbage that Chaos doesn't have their second wound yet. It really is.
In playing this one here, I mean, I was going for try and just hold on what I can because he kind of dominated that corner. But
the crackback is rough here. I didn't quite do enough.
You got close. You got close, but you just didn't have enough models. It was really just about model count.
Well, I needed to kill your Chaos Lord. When my Terminators failed to kill the Chaos Lord, I think they were, 2 damage short of killing him? Because I had an abysmal attack roll. 1 damage short of killing him. Yeah, I rolled 70% 1s and 2s on that roll. to attack that guy, so I got barely anything for extra attacks, and the crackback was hard.
So basically, I used my War Scythe to kill what was there, and I was able to hold on to that objective for at least one more round.
Yeah, and I was hoping that my demons that he's attacking on the north part of the field there, I was hoping that my demons with their 5-up saves, with their incomes, would be able to hold out just to have 1 or 2 guys. If I would have had 1 or 2 guys left in each of those units, because they're obsec and he's not, I could have had just enough to make up some points I needed to bring back.
Yeah, but I just had too many attacks. When you have twice as many attacks he has, wounding on 2s, it was just kind of an inevitability.
You had to get unlucky, and I had to get lucky.
Right.
It had to be a swing in both ways, and I don't get that lucky with dice rolls.
But now we just go on to turn 5. At the end of turn 4, Adam got 10 points for primaries, 2 for engage on all fronts, 0 for assassination, and 3 for raise the banners. Chris garnered 5 points for primaries, 3 for engage on all fronts, 3 for assassination, and 2 for raise the banners. And with that, we go on to turn 5.
Turn 5, I poked out for those last few points I could get killing those 2 characters, trying to maximize my points. Maximize every point you can possibly get in every game.
And the problem with Technomancers is you have to protect them hard because they have no invulnerable save and only 4 wounds. So those Demonettes just came up and just chewed him up. And yeah, his Warlord did finish off mine, who only had like 1 or 2 wounds left at that point. And then, so on my turn, all I was trying to do was spread out, hold as many objectives as I could. Like I didn't even go try to kill the Demonettes because it just was like, I just needed the table quarter and to grab that objective, so I was holding my objectives at the end of the round, since of course going second meant that I scored my objectives at the end of my turn instead of the beginning of my turn, so I was able to hold 4, so I got a full 15, ending the game. But you know what, it was a really fun game.
Yep.
At the end of turn 5, Adam scored 0 for primaries, 0 for engage on all fronts, 7 for assassination, and 1 for raise the banners. Chris scored 15 for primaries, 3 for engage on all fronts, 3 for assassination, and 2 for raise the banners. Now we move on to the final scoring of the game. So for final score, Adam had 30 for primaries, 8 for engage, 13 for assassination, 10 for raise the banners. Chris had 35 for primary, 8 for engage, 15 for assassination, 12 for raise the banners. With paint score, Adam had 71 points, and Chris had 80 points. And with that, we go on to our final thoughts.
So guys, it was a really fun game. You know, I'm seeing a lot out of Chris's army. That new core rule has made him really powerful. Truthfully, I made some big risks, and they didn't work out for me on this game. It also really hurts not having the extra wounds with Space Marines. I would have done a lot better with the extra wounds.
So overall, the extra wounds would have kept your Space Marines alive quite a bit longer, because I did kill them with a lot of 1 wound damage. Also, you know, the new core rule really helped me out, especially with my Technomancers being able to pick up Scorpec Destroyers was just gross. Being able to get +1 strength and hitting on 2s, it was really gross. But overall, really interesting game, and looking forward to the next one.
I'm really looking forward to the next game. Hopefully I can bring something, be a little bit more threatening towards Chris.
Definitely. Thank you for joining our game today of 5 and 15, and if you enjoy our content, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, we'd love to hear from you down in the comment sections on things we did great and things we can improve on. And as always, happy wargaming.